When she goes and tells all the Muslims that the Americans hate us, the white people hate us, and they are so anti-Islamist, and that the Islamophobe, that the term that was invented by CAIR.
Yeah. We've talked about this a bunch on the show, but can you explain why the term specifically Islamophobe was invented and why it's such a confusing term?
To counterpart the anti-Semitism. So it's easier to say Islamophobe. So you could, okay, if you are an Islamophobe, that's why you're with others that hate all the Muslims in the United States. Mm-hmm. Well, number one, if they hated all the Muslims, I've been here 3 decades as an adult.
Yeah.
How come nobody hated me? I went to her district and I spoke to the people, and I was going back and forth, spending time there. And even sometimes on Twitter, I would say, I'm going to be in this place from this time to come and meet me, journalists and others. Mm-hmm. So I had all this research about this district way before anything else. And then 6 months ago, I decided to move there. And I started thinking that if I run, I would be the best, the only candidate that could beat her. Because of my background, I'm immune to her brand of identity politics. So I can push straight for the important issues and important discussions. And I'm not a shy person at all. And I could say, you are 1, 2, 3. Why did you meet Turkish President Erdogan before you were elected? What promises did you give him? Why you refused to acknowledge the Turkish ethnic cleansing against the Armenians? Mm-hmm. Why were you outraged because President Trump decided to take justice to Qasem Soleimani? Why are you close to the Muslim Brotherhood? How much money have you been getting from CAIR through CAIR from Qatar and from the godfather of the Muslim Brotherhood? I could do what no other candidates could, basically, because if you tell her this, you're white supremacist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're anti-Muslim. Yeah. She cannot accuse me of that. So,
well, she can accuse you of it, and I'm sure she will accuse you of it. It just
she could be my guest because
yeah.
Not very credible.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in, probably I know more about religion than she does. Most likely.
Yeah. Do you sense she's using religion as a shield?
Of course.
Yeah.
She's using everything, and she has this victim cards that she throws at you. Oh, I was 5. I have PTSD. I was 5 years old, and no girl should live at war because any war and every war around the globe is because of the United States.
Yeah.
So.
Can you talk a little bit about the tactics? So you mentioned this Muslim Brotherhood CAIR connection. We talked briefly before we started about Brigitte Gabriel, who's really been laying this thing out for years, what the plan is to infiltrate. You're now saying there's over 100 candidates that are being groomed by them. But I think one of the tactics, which you sort of hit on, is this constant desire to make everything feel crazy all the time. And it almost seems like every time Tayyip, in a way, Rashida Tayyip, is almost worse than Ilhan in this way.
Oh, yeah.
That everything she says seems to be designed to make maximum chaos. And is that really part of what they do? That's the main thing that they do, and that's how they get support. I mean, Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tayyip, let me talk about each one because they have similar tactics but on different issues. Sure. Like Ilhan Omar, when she keeps feeding or tweeting or saying the same narrative over and over and over, that I represent every Muslim in the country. First, she's supposed to represent the 5th district. Mm-hmm. She's supposed
to serve the 5th district, and she's done zero, nada, nothing. So when she goes and tells all the Muslims that the Americans hate us, the white people hate us, and they are so anti-Islamists, and that the Islamophobe, that the term that was invented by CAIR.
Yeah.
So
we've talked about this a bunch on the show, but can you explain why the term specifically Islamophobe was invented and why it's such a confusing term?
To counterpart the anti-Semitism. So it's easier to say Islamophobe. So you could, okay, if you are an Islamophobe, that's why you're with others that hate all the Muslims in the United States. Well, number one, if they hated all the Muslims, I've been here 3 decades as an adult.
Yeah.
How come nobody hated me? Well, I'm sure they hate me for different things.
People probably hate you for your ideas now. Ilhan's probably not thrilled with you.
I doubt that. But even after 9/11, like 9/12, I've never felt threatened because I was a Muslim. I'm an American, regardless of all these. I don't use this. And the problem is, or I'm forced to use a Muslim former refugee immigrants just to the identity politics that she uses. And I stated it once on Twitter that was picked up by everybody because she said, I am a hijab, that is not the right hijab that she claims to, and I've spoken to several American Somalis that this is not the Muslim hijab. I mean, she wears the hijab based on the people that she's meeting. If she's meeting Muslims, she would cover, but hijab as in hijab, you cannot show your chest, you cannot show your hands. Muslims know that.
Right. Well, also plenty of the policies that she's for would not be policies that if you were a strict Muslim you would be for. I mean, abortion is a right.
Yes.
Sorry, abortion is health care.
Exactly.
Abortion is health care.
And it's human rights as well. So, but the problem with the people in the district that they don't follow what she does in D.C. on a daily basis. They don't know that she missed half of the votes that anyone else in the House. She doesn't vote for the district. You know when she votes? When it comes to foreign policies. That's when her votes. And can you believe that she voted against sending aid to Somalia? And then she went outside 10 minutes later, giving a press conference saying, oh, we did it. I mean, this woman is filled with lies. And again, her worst mistake that she didn't give me the interview. That what made me go back and forth. And that what made me decide that I am going to cross the line between being a journalist to a politician.
So what are some of the other tactics that they use besides the just general, they want to cause chaos all the time and seem to always, everything they say seems to be designed to deepen that divide. What else are they doing? The
free handouts that on reality doesn't work. How could you give free healthcare to everybody? It doesn't work this way. I mean, where would they get the money from? How could you forgive all the student loans? What would they do for people that already paid their loans?
Yeah, we're not getting anything back, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. How? I mean, all these handouts and like free this, and everybody's going to have a free house and it's going to have a free. I mean, this is ridiculous. We are not in China, and even in China, they don't do that.
Right. So, but can you explain a little bit more how the Islamists and CAIR and the Muslim Brotherhood, how they use the progressives? Like, it's like, because this is what I think a lot of people see this match made in hell. You're supposed to be for progressive, but all these other values are completely anti-progressive. But I don't think people really understand how this thing fully ties together.
Because the progressive don't have minds, their right minds. The Muslim Brotherhood is using the far left and the progressive for their own agendas. They're not doing it for the sake of the far left or the sake of progressive. No, they are using them big time.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.